Hey guys, Phil Palmhart here. So for today's knife of the week, I've got a little Puukko knife to show you that I made. Yeah, so this is a handsome little Scandinavian style fixed blade knife. I like calling it a Puukko. You know, it's got the straight back Scandinavian grind, so it goes from here all the way to the zero, all the way to sharp. The handle, I definitely took inspiration from like the Finnish fishing knives, you know, with this little indent here, as well as some of the Norwegian Bruce-Litto Niven knives, and I'm really happy with it. It's a simple knife, but nice clean lines, and it's sort of a nice little benchmark as far as how I've come as a knife maker. You know, I've made some little knives like this sort of early on in my career, and the idea was there, but this is just a little neater, a little cleaner. I'm very happy with the way this one came out, so I did end up keeping this, and I've been carrying this and using it since about end of January, beginning of February of 2024. All right, so I've been carrying it for about 4 months. You know, pretty much as a EDC knife, unless I don't want to be somewhere with a fixed blade knife, but you know, around the shop, around the house, working on home repair, walking in the woods, all that kind of stuff. This has been my companion. So it's been used, it's been dropped. The very end of the handle here came to a real pretty point, and the way that the pouch style sheath is set up, when if I would lean back too far in my chair or something like that, or put my feet up by the fire, it would slip out, and so a couple more than one occasion it's landed on the butt and sort of flattened that off, but still kicking. So sheath has got some wear and tear on it, although it doesn't look too bad. It was definitely prettier starting off. But this is actually my first forge welded knife that I've ever done. I've done a couple of tomahawks. This is the very first forge welded knife. So I think this would qualify as a Sanmai knife. So it's got a 80 CRV2 core with mild steel on either end, and you can kind of see the steel pattern there just from using it and whatnot. It's a little hard to see on the edge itself. If you catch it in the light right, you can kind of see the etch pattern. So you know, first time playing around with that ferric chloride, so I got a lot to learn there, but it's there and it works. So what I did is I had some little scrap pieces of 80 CRV2. They're probably about this size, so right in this little box here, and I cut some mild steel to fit it, welded it together, welded onto a piece of rebar, and tried forge welding it. And I was really just trying to experiment. I just wanted to see if I could forge weld with the new setup. It was my first time doing that, so I wanted to give it a shot. Didn't have the cameras rolling because I just thought, okay, if I can forge weld it, then you know, I can move forward from there. It was just going to be like a experimental test piece. I didn't actually think I'd be able to make a knife out of it, but a little bit of steel, and I never really recorded the original dimensions, so maybe it was a little bit bigger, but it wasn't too terribly big. But because it was so thick, I got a you know, a 5-inch blade out of it, plus a narrow tang. So the tang is sort of short. It goes to about here, and the spine is still pretty stout, but it's I measured it and it's about 3/16 of an inch, so not terrible thickness for a knife spine. Probably should have sharpened it up for the video, but whatever. Yeah, so still sharp, still gets the job done. But like I said, this is kind of my work knife, so I just touch it up on the strop every once in a while. But I wanted to etch this. I knew I had to do a real good polish on the blade, which took quite a bit of time, and so hand sanded this down to 1500 grit, I believe. And that actually, because of the Scandinavian grind, that's basically what sharpened the edge. I think I just touched it up with like a ceramic rod or something like that, but you can see a little bit of the weld left over there. It's kind of on the spine too, so this is the very the back of the billet, I guess you could say. And you know, I did end up forging this. I did forge this point in, even though it's not recommended to kind of forge in fine points on forge welded knives. Maybe that's really just more for Damascus when you've got more layers. But this held up just fine. But I think the knife looks cool. You know, it looks simple, but there's a little bit more to it than you might think. Not to sound like I'm too full of myself, but I'm kind of proud that I was able to take those little pieces of scrap steel, basically waste, and make a knife out of it. Like that was, you know, it was a good feeling, and I look forward to pursuing more forge welding and Damascus ventures in the future. But this was the first step. We'll see where it takes me. But handle is just simple mahogany. It's got a nice feel. I left it flat on the back. It's pretty big. It's a 5-inch handle, so it basically matches the blade, but fits in my hand just about perfect. With this little heel fitting in the back of my hand there. Feels good in a reverse grip, or excuse me, feels good in a hammer grip, even though it's so thin, because it's kind of a broad handle. But I've enjoyed using this knife, and it's been nice, you know, when I bump into people, or you know, old friends I haven't seen in a while, and they're like, "What you up to lately?" And I tell them I make knives. They're like, "Really? You know, like what kind of knife?" It's cool to be able to pull this out and show them something I've made. But so for the sheath, I wanted to keep kind of the simple pouch style of the Scandinavian designs. I wanted to kind of keep that aesthetic. I wanted to do the wet molding, and I like the way that looks nice and clean like that. So for the carry system, I ended up I put a little slit in the sheath here. Have a piece of leather, you know, with the blood knot, and then just a D-ring, and this is one of those pull dot snaps with the strap. This actually, I don't even have this sewed together. I probably could, but basically it's like the dangle sheaths of the Scandinavian style, but with the snap I can put it on my belt, take it off without having to undo the pants and thread this through, and it keeps it all nice and secure. And so what I've liked to do is I'll carry this, since I normally have a knife in my right hand pocket, a folding knife in my right hand pocket, I'll carry this on the left hand side, and on the Carhartt pants I normally wear for forging and working and all that. It's got that hammer loop, so I'll have this on the belt, and this is long enough that I'll put the knife sheath through the hammer loop, and that keeps it from flopping around too much, and it just sort of keeps it there, and it keeps out of my way, and I don't even notice it until I need a fixed blade knife, and then it's right there, ready to be used. So I do apologize that I didn't get to show you guys my first forge welded blade, my first Sanmai, but that's just the way these things go sometimes. I just you know, I do it because I love to do it. I do it for me. Afterwards I feel bad that I didn't share it with you guys, because that's kind of how my channel started, was by you know, sharing my learning process, as painful as that is. So there'll be more Sanmai videos to come, but just the way this one worked out, I just sort of did it. But now I'm showing you guys after the fact. So hopefully you guys liked the knife. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you want to get a custom knife, you can check out my Etsy web store. Links in the description. I have knives available on there, and then if there's something specific that you want me to make for you, you can message me, and we can talk, and I can figure out what I can make for you. And if you want to keep up with my latest and greatest work, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. So that's all I got for you guys today. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate the support, and until next time, be more Viking.